Okay, so as a leader, your job is basically to solve problems, right? It's kind of the default setting. But what if focusing on what's already working, on your team's biggest successes, is the real key to unleashing their potential? You know, the legendary management thinker Peter Drucker, he just nailed it. He said that real leadership, real transformation, it's not about painstakingly fixing every little flaw. It's about amplifying your strengths so much that the weaknesses kind of become irrelevant. And check this out. This table just perfectly illustrates the shift. On one side, you've got the old way, right? The deficit-based model. It's all what's the problem, what's broken. But on the other side, that's the positive approach. It's about what's working, what we can dream up. We're literally moving from just solving problems to building possibilities. It's a total game changer. Okay, so that all sounds great, but how do you actually do it? How do you make that switch in the real world? Well, there's a really powerful methodology for this. It's called appreciative inquiry. And the heart of appreciative inquiry, it's basically a consultant's playbook, a really simple four-step process called the 4D cycle. All right, so the 4Ds are discovery, dream, design, and destiny. Think of these as your roadmap for unlocking your team's potential. Let's dive into the first one, discovery, and see how this all works. So step one is discovery. And right away, we're not looking for what's wrong. Instead, you're on a search for what gives your organization life. It's like you're an archaeologist, but instead of old bones, you're digging for treasure. You're hunting for those peak moments, those success stories. What this does is completely flip the script. You stop asking, okay, what's broken? And instead, you ask your team this one powerful question. Hey team, what are the root causes of our greatest successes? Okay, so once you've found all that treasure in the discovery phase, you move on to the dream phase. This is where you take all that positive energy and start asking what could be. So if discovery was being an archaeologist, the dream phase, well, that's where you become the architect, drawing up blueprints for a bold new future. And what's so cool here is that we're not just talking about small incremental goals. No way. You're asking your team to think huge. The question becomes, based on our strengths, what are our boldest aspirations for our future? You're building this shared vision together. All right, you've got the dream, now you move into the design phase. This is where it gets real. You're creating what should be. You take that big, inspiring vision and start translating it into actual, concrete plans and structures. Yep, this is where the rubber meets the road. You're asking, how can we actually structure our work to bring this dream to life? The crucial point here for you as a leader is that your organization's structure has to support that dream. It's that simple. And that brings us to the final D, destiny. This is all about committing to what will be. And look, this isn't some top-down order. It's the execution phase, yeah, but it's all about inspired action, continuous learning, and letting people self-organize. The big question here is, how can we empower everyone to contribute to our shared destiny? See, this makes sure that all this change isn't just some one-off project. It actually becomes the new way you do things. Okay, that's the theory. So what does this look like in the real world? So, one of the coolest things that comes out of the discovery and dream phases is this, a positive core map. And what you're looking at is a real one. It's basically a visual collage of a team's strengths, their assets, their proudest moments. It takes all that hidden potential and makes it visible for everyone to see. It's literally the foundation for everything that comes next. All right, I know what some of you are thinking. This positivity stuff sounds kind of soft. Does it actually deliver hard results, for the bottom line? That's the million-dollar question, right? Well, let's look at the proof. One of the most famous examples is a manufacturer called Hunter Douglas. And they didn't just use the 4D cycle for a little team building. Nope. They used it to guide their entire strategy. And the results, they were staggering. No exaggeration. First up, profitability. They saw a 422% increase. Just let that sink in. 422%. That is not a typo. And get this. At the same time, they hit a 95% employee satisfaction rate. It's not hard to see the connection between a super happy team and that kind of profitability, is it? And on top of all that, productivity jumped by 42%. So what's the big takeaway? Focusing on strengths is not just a feel-good thing. It directly drives massive, measurable bottom-line growth, period. Okay, those results are amazing. But we all know the real challenge is making it last, right? So, how do you make sure all this positive momentum actually sticks around? Well, here are 3 really practical ways to do it. First, celebrate wins. I mean, really celebrate them. Make success visible. Second, empower people. Let teams organize themselves around stuff they're passionate about. And third, make this a habit. Weave these positive questions into your everyday meetings and conversations. And you know why this whole thing works? Because it's not just a process. It creates an environment that taps into these 6 fundamental freedoms. So for you as a leader, your job kind of shifts. You stop being just a task manager and become a champion of these freedoms. Because honestly, when people feel heard and free to contribute, they will do absolutely amazing work. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. What if, tomorrow, you just started by asking your team about a time they were at their absolute best? Seriously, what could you unlock with just one single positive question?